Good evening. Welcome to QUT Web News.
Good evening.
Malcolm Turnbull has shrugged off a Labor attempt in Parliament to damage his reputation. And a new poll shows the PM is more popular than ever with voters. There's even been talk of the government calling an early election.
The latest results put the coalition in the lead for the first time since March 2014. On a two-party preferred basis, the Liberal Party would win by a landslide if an election was held now. These poor results for Labor follow criticism over the party's personal attacks on Mr Turnbull's wealth and investments in an offshore tax haven. Today's poll shows Australians aren't concerned about a multi-millionaire Prime Minister.
What it shows is people are getting on board with the increasing confidence.
The Australian public has made a real connection with Malcolm Turnbull, and I think that is a great thing.
But Labor has brushed off the poll findings as a result of a honeymoon period.
What's he doing? What's he done? What's he actually achieved? I mean, he's nice to look at maybe, but I want to see marriage equality.
The Fairfax Ipsos poll is relatively new and doesn't have the reputation of well-established polls, but the result is still a worry for Labor. Mr Turnbull has had the best approval rating since Kevin Rudd back in 2008. Giselle Gadella, QUT News.
Lord Mayor Graham Quirk has unveiled the master plan for the urban renewal of the Bulimba Barracks. The massive low-rise development includes 850 new dwellings and more than 5 hectares of green space.
At City Hall today, the Lord Mayor hailed the plan as a win-win for both council and the community. The aim? To build up to 850 new dwellings on the 20-hectare site.
We've got things like cafes and some opportunity for shops in that precinct, as well as a on-land river walk and parkland frontage to the river.
The draft plan was devised with the help of more than 800 locals, with popular demands including low-rise buildings and plenty of parkland. The community cries were heard loud and clear, with restrictions placed on building heights and plenty of areas set aside as green space.
So it's important that we get this site right, and I think we've done that with the master plan. We've certainly listened to what locals have had to say, and they have shaped essentially the outcome that we present today.
Council taking the time to talk to the community has certainly had an effect.
I don't think 5 stories is over the top, and they're giving parklands and other amenities to help. I think it's good.
It's good. It gives us more space to kick the footy around and play with our mates, and it's just going to be a lot of fun with all the green spaces.
Local information kiosks will also be held here at Memorial Park on Oxford Street from this Thursday until next Tuesday for those people who want to find out more. Toby Crockford, QUT News.
Development is being blamed for an early influx of venomous snakes in suburbia. Snake catchers are warning residents the reptiles appear to be adapting to southeast Queensland's suburban environment.
It's been a busy start to the snake season. Here, a red-bellied black is cornered in a backyard in Brisbane's south.
The weather's been kind of weird. The nights this time last year were a lot warmer by now. Now it's still cool at nights, which when the sun comes out during the day would be promoting some snake activity because it's been a cold night. They want to get out and heat up.
Snake catcher Grant Brown has been called to 10 homes in the past month to remove deadly eastern browns. This year's spike in suburban snake sightings is only set to increase. Reptile experts say this is as a result of continued urban development, destroying natural habitat and forcing snakes into our local backyards.
Most of the brown snakes that I've caught have been opposite development areas, where last year that was bush and now there's no bush, it's all been cleared.
Just last week, a man was bitten by what's thought to have been a brown snake in Surfers Paradise, while snake catchers removed another. Grant Brown has this advice for anyone confronted by a snake.
Large objects moving will get a snake defensive, so just stay still and the snake will move off by itself. If you're out of that sort of strike zone, just back away slowly, keep an eye on the snake, call a snake catcher.
And if a snake bites, apply a pressure bandage to the affected limb and call the ambulance. Lauren Geldard, QUT News.
Why don't more young men want to become primary school teachers? It's been a vexing question for years, with the Queensland College of Teachers now commissioning a report into the issue.
It's a statistic that's alarmed education authorities.
Only 16% of Queensland's primary school teachers are men. One of them, Daniel Ritchie, says many students would benefit from having a male teacher.
And I think a male teacher really, not completely, but fills that void somewhat.
The Queensland College of Teachers wants to know why so few men are interested in primary teaching, whether it's the pay and conditions or the risk of being falsely accused of inappropriate behaviour.
Talking more and focusing more on the positive aspects of teaching and the positive impacts that males can make on students' lives, because that's the rewarding aspect of it.
QUT student teacher Robbie McLaughlin blames gender stereotypes.
Males often are geared towards secondary and they do feel more comfortable in that setting.
He says more incentives and higher pay would help.
I think it's more, definitely maybe more incentive based, especially in schools in a rural setting. You know, maybe increasing pay rates would help.
But the Queensland Teachers Union isn't buying into the debate and wants the focus to remain on delivering the highest standard of education.
It's no more important than that teacher providing the best teaching that they can in the classroom. Whether they're a male or a female teacher should be irrelevant.
The union admits, though, more men would help. Paxton Roth, QUT News.
Millions of Australians held their breath early this morning as the Wallabies waited until the dying moments of their match against Scotland to snatch victory. The Wallabies played well below their best, but were saved by a last-minute penalty. The final score, 35-34.
They left it late, but the Wallabies are through to the World Cup semi-finals. A controversial 79th minute penalty conversion from Bernard Foley silenced the hostile Twickenham crowd and sealed the win.
Foley. He stabbed it down the middle!
In what truly was a great escape, milestone men Stephen Moore and Matt Giddo both celebrated their 100th Test cap with a thrilling victory.
Scotland played really well. You know, their fans and their people should be very proud of the way they played, just the way I am. I'm proud of my boys. We hung in there and played right to the last minute.
Australia trailed throughout the first half and looked a shadow of the team that had progressed through the tournament undefeated. A yellow card to Scotland winger Sean Maitland for a deliberate knock-on proved the turning point.
We've got an overlap situation, no attempt to catch the ball, deliberate knock-on. Yeah.
Australia capitalised to jump to a 32-24 lead and looked set for a comfortable win, until Scotland's Mark Bennett intercepted a James Slipper pass to score under the posts. Australia's big game experience proved too much.
It's not about justice, it's just about playing what happens in the game. You know, you can only play what's called. Luckily for us, we got a penalty in the end, and obviously Bernard was able to slot it over.
The Wallabies now play Argentina for a spot in their first World Cup final since 2003. Eden Richards, QUT News.
Brisbane Roar has topped the ALeague ladder after a nail-biting 2-1 victory over the Central Coast Mariners. Match favourite Brandon Borrello managed to score both Roar goals to secure the win.
The Roar victory makes it 2 wins from 2 and opens up a 2-point buffer over title favourites Melbourne Victory and Sydney FC, who were tied for second place. 15,000 supporters gathered at Lang Park, a figure doubled from last season. Jamie McLaren, who scored a brace of his own last week, played a vital role in both Borrello's goals. The first came in the 14th minute when McLaren cushioned a high ball into Borrello's path with a swift side-footed pass. The 20-year-old then blasted his shot past Marina's custodian Liam Reddy, who got a glove on it but couldn't keep it out.
I think he's got a lot of goals in him. The way we play, he will create a lot of chances and also get into good goal-scoring positions.
Borrello struck again on the hour mark, launching a team counter-attack. Spanish midfielder Corona, deep in his own half, opened up space for fullback Jack Hingett, who kept his cool under pressure before unleashing Borrello, who made no mistake from close range. Josh Bingham grabbed one goal, converting a Fabio Ferreira cutback, but Brisbane were able to stamp out Central Coast's attempted comeback and steal the win.
Oh, I'm no hero, but yeah, it's a great start for the club, and it's even better for the fans.
Brent Gray, QUT News.
QUT has joined forces with the Brisbane Research Centre at the cutting edge of drone technology. They're working on an unmanned aircraft which will have the ability to operate legally in commercial airspace.
Drones have become a routine tool across many industries. Here, a drone with a camera is being prepared to capture aerial pictures. But drone technology is about to become much more sophisticated. This is the Australian Research Centre for Aerospace Automation at Brisbane Airport. It's a world-leading QUT research facility and the only university-run centre with an operating certificate for drone use in Queensland. Researchers are working to integrate the unmanned aircraft with Australia's mainstream aviation sector, meaning the drones will have the capacity to operate in what until now has been restricted airspace.
Vision avoidance, detectant avoidance systems, ADS-B transponders, communication systems to enable full integration into Australian airspace.
Drone technology has advanced significantly over the past decade, providing a number of industries with unparalleled opportunities. But a number of factors continue to inhibit its use.
The major factor is a resistance in the community to accept that they can operate safely in an appropriate and predictable environment.
Researchers say although barriers exist, the future commercial use of drone technology remains promising. It's forecast to expand into a range of sectors, including agriculture, biosecurity, and even emergency services. Aaron Cronin, QUT News.
Time now to take a look at the weather. It was a cloudy Monday right around Brisbane, with light winds and mild temperatures. A top of 26 in Brisbane and the Gold and Sunny Coasts. Ipswich dipped to 11 overnight, reaching 27 mid-afternoon. Interstate tomorrow, Sydney can expect plenty of clouds with a top of 26. Cooler in Canberra and Hobart, with Perth dipping to 9 degrees overnight. Looking around Queensland, sunny and a top of 36 in Mount Isa, 29 in Townsville and Rocky, partly cloudy and 28 in Bundaberg, partly cloudy and 27 in Brisbane tomorrow. It will warm up as the week progresses, with the mercury tipping 31 by Thursday, along with some possible storm activity. That brings you up to date with the weather.
And that's all the news we have for now.
We're back tomorrow with more QUT Web News. Goodbye.
Goodbye.